The Mercer Files Season 2, Episode 3, Ashes in the Rain. The city smells different after a fire. Wet brick, scorched timber, smoke that lingers in your coat like a bad memory. They'd call it an accident in tomorrow's papers. But I'd seen too many accidents in this town to believe in coincidences. This time, the blaze tore through Red Lantern Alley, the heart of Chinatown. 2 tenements burned to the ground, 20 families scattered, and in the ashes, the fire brigade found something that didn't belong, a body with its hands tied behind its back. And just like that, I knew this wasn't about faulty wiring. Someone had torched the building to bury a corpse. Rain fell hard, hissing over the ruins. Buckets of water turned the streets into rivers of black soot. I found Captain Doyle of the fire brigade smoking like his lungs had given up on him years ago. "Arson?" I asked. "Don't print that word yet, Mercer," he grumbled. "But yeah, smelled oil before the flames. Whoever lit it wanted the whole block gone. And the body? Male, mid-30s. Face too scorched for ID. But Doyle handed me what they'd pulled from his pocket. Half a playing card. The king of clubs, torn down the middle. My stomach turned cold. Another calling card from the network pulling the strings. The broker's network. I tracked down Mei Lin, the reporter who always seemed to know where the smoke started before anyone else smelled fire. She met me in a noodle shop, rain dripping off her coat. "This wasn't random, Jack," she said. "That building was owned by Harold Finch. Big name in shipping. He leases docks along the waterfront, and last month, his youngest daughter vanished." "Evelyn Vane all over again?" I asked. "Exactly. The same names keep circling. Wealth, influence, and now, dead men and burned buildings." She slid a slip of paper across the table, an address. The dead man? I think he worked for Finch. A bookkeeper. He must have known something. The address led me to a dingy boarding house near the rail yards. The landlady told me his name was Arthur Bell. Kept to himself. Never missed rent. Carried a black satchel everywhere he went. The satchel wasn't in his room, but his desk was. Inside the drawer, hidden under false bottom, I found charred papers, ledgers, but barely legible. Still, a few numbers stood out. Shipments, dates, dock numbers. Someone had been moving cargo under Finch's nose. Smuggling, maybe people, maybe worse. And now the bookkeeper had been burned to make sure those numbers never saw daylight. The docks at midnight smell of salt, oil, and old sins. I watched men load crates onto a freighter marked the Fortuna. No manifests, no customs agents, just shadows and hurried hands. Then I saw him, Dominic Rourke, the scar-faced enforcer I'd nearly broken in the last case. He was barking orders, shoving men into action. And beside him, someone new. A tall man in a white raincoat, face hidden beneath a wide-brimmed hat. The men called him Mr. Ash. I'd bet my last dollar he was the one lighting matches for the broker. I followed Rourke and Ash through the storm, boots slapping against wet cobblestones. They slipped into an abandoned distillery by the river. Inside, barrels stacked high. The stink of kerosene strong enough to choke. I knew what this place was, a fire trap waiting to be lit. And then I saw her, Clara Vane, the same woman who'd begged me to find her sister, bound to a chair, gagged, struggling against ropes. Rourke's voice echoed through the rafters. "The broker says Mercer's getting too close. So we give him a choice. Save the girl, or save the evidence." Because on the floor beside her sat the satchel, Arthur Bell's missing ledger, stuffed with pages. proof. The chain from heiresses to dockyards to the broker himself. The match flared. Mr. Ash tossed it into a barrel of kerosene, and the world went up like hell's own orchestra. I lunged, grabbed the satchel with one hand, Clara with the other. Flames licked the walls. The roof groaned above us. Rourke swung a crowbar. I ducked, rammed him into a beam. He stumbled, disappeared into smoke. Ash was gone too, like a phantom in the blaze. I kicked down a side door, dragging Clara out just as the distillery collapsed into the river with a hiss like the devil laughing. Clara was safe. The satchel was mine. Inside it, numbers and names that could finally map the broker's empire. But Arthur Bell was dead. The Fortuna had already set sail, and a new player, Mr. Ash, was in the game now, burning his way through anyone who talked. The broker was no longer hiding in the shadows. He was tightening the noose. And the city just kept raining. That's it for today, folks. If you want to hear the next episode in this saga, like, comment, subscribe, and be sure to tune in next Wednesday for episode 4. Relax and ponder about today's episode. Any clue yet who Mr. Broker might be?